So there's actually funds, ETFs and mutual funds in place for socially conscious investors.
Yeah, I had to peel back the layers on this because I was like, what? You texted to me. I'm like, I never heard of it. All right, let's do some research.
Yeah, for sure. So, there's a few, like I said, so those are the different topics like environment, gambling, tobacco, alcohol, prison, social justice, and religion. That's a whole different conversation. We're going to talk about that. But so just to kind of give you a few, there's ESGU. Mm-hmm. ESGU is an ETF, a socially conscious ETF that does not invest in any company that has anything to do with weapons, tobacco, jails, even though they actually did have a private prison in their ETF, and then they found out and it was a mistake and they kicked it off. So it's like even that. It's like, you find out, you try to get the kosher hot dog.
Yeah, the morality police.
Like, it was made in a pig slaughtering house. It's like, it's so crazy. But that's an ETF, and that ETF has actually done pretty well. Considering, because a lot of times it's the performance of these things aren't as high as other ones. Mm-hmm. But that one has done pretty well. Its 52-week high is $75, and its 52-week low was $40 a month ago. So in March it was $40. Right now it's $68. So it's up. It's up pretty nicely in a 2 month time frame. Another one is SSGA, which is a woman diversity ETF. They like invest in companies that hire majority women or have women CEOs. It's focused around women. Yeah. There's another one called CRBN, which is a low carbon, environmental friendly ETF. Right. So there's a variety. Like you can just Google socially conscious funds, and like kind of just play around with it in different filters, and you can see like what kind of fund you're looking for. With the situation.
It's interesting, man. It's interesting because I'm thinking to myself, like, how many investors, right, are not willing to compromise their values to make money? And when I think of investors, I'm like, you know what? I think the moral thing is like they just want to make money. Yeah, they don't put everything else.
Well, I think people, and myself included. I'm not preaching from the choir. Yeah, we conveniently get blind. Right, conveniently get blind because it's like, what I'm saying, like you might see something, and it's like it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's like if you were anti-war, right, and it was like, Boeing's at $97. Right, but I don't want to invest in any company that deals with any making machines or any type of thing that could help in the development of weapons of mass destruction or help in war. There goes that morale. It's like, wait, well, this is a good buy, right? This is a good buy at $97. Is it worth it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think most people are thinking, let's just make money.
Oh, they just don't really think about it. Not really thinking about it from that standpoint. It's like, Boeing has government contracts. Are you thinking that maybe that government plane is sending a drone and killing an innocent child in Syria? You're not really looking too far into it. You could. It's available. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot easier
to turn the blind eye.
To just turn the blind eye.
Yeah, turn the blind eye.
This is what happens in a variety of different things.
Yeah.
You don't want to see certain things. Like you're walking down the alley, you see what's going on, and you turn around and you walk the other way.
A lot of times.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
I mean, for your own safety, a lot of times.
And like I said, we're not here to shame anybody.
Nah.
But I'm just saying, we just want to provide some information for some people that may want to take a higher level of morality. Right. In that standpoint, and may want to take a higher level of weeding out their investments. Just give them options. That's the thing with Earning Lead. We just here to provide information. Like a lot of times people don't fully understand that, and they don't even know that that's an option.
Exactly. So it's like there are a lot of people in this, I guess, the quote unquote woke stage, right? So it's like, if you're woke, let it be in all aspects of your life, right? Not just in your individual things that you're doing on a day to day, but even in your investing. And this is one of those things, like you said, prior to this, I wasn't thinking about it. I had no idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then that brings us to another conversation. We talked to shout out to my son. Last week's episode was about the prison system. We didn't fully go into the finances of publicly traded companies, but so there's prison stocks, like private prison companies that are traded on the stock exchange. Mm-hmm. So a few of them are CoreCivic, which is CXW, and Geo Group, which is GEO. That's their symbol.
The crazy thing about CoreCivic, and this is crazy that you said that. We didn't even speak about this, but Darryl Freeman. Shout out to Darryl Freeman. If you don't know Darryl Freeman, go Google him. I don't tell you his background, but a very successful man in the world of technology. He called me. He said, "Yo, I love that episode. The CEO of CoreCivic is my next door neighbor."
Oh yeah.
He was like, "Yo, it's a big business, and I'm glad y'all talked about it."
He loved Mike Song's episode?
Yep, loved it. Sent me the message, and that, I was like, wow, that's incredible. He was like, "Yo, it's a big business. It's a city. Literally, you got to think of these prisons, these private prisons, as cities. They need everything that a city needs." And when you look at it like that, it's like, damn, he's right.
Yeah.
And his next door neighbor is the guy who is in charge of that.
Well, there you have it. So, yeah, those are two private prison companies. Now, the crazy thing about those stocks, so it's been, even on that episode, Mike Song had said that private prison stocks skyrocketed after Trump got elected. That is true. Both of those companies, I think, went up over 100% in the year following Trump's election. But they've actually been down for the last, 3 years, 4 years. Like, their 5-year chart is not really impressive, which is a good thing. I mean,
right.
But just want to throw that out there. We have to tell both sides of the story. So as an investment, they haven't really, they're not booming. They're not booming right now.
Which is good. Which means that there's less people going to prison.
Well, I don't know if there's less people going to prison, but for whatever reason, their stock is just not doing well. There could be a variety of different reasons why their stock isn't doing well, but the stock has not really performed. But what a lot of people don't fully understand is that a lot of people are invested in, especially CoreCivic, up until last year at the very least, a lot of people are invested in CoreCivic without even knowing it. Because through your 401k, through your IRA, through your pension plan. So Vanguard and BlackRock were the two biggest holders, I think they still are, of private prisons stocks. BlackRock, Vanguard, two of the biggest mutual fund companies.
Yes.
Everybody loves Vanguard because they have this is what I'm saying. It's a lot of
you talk about
it's a lot of right and wrong in life, right? People love Vanguard because it's a no load fund and it's pretty much free to invest and it's cheap. And they're the biggest holder of prison stocks, by the way. They also have a lot of 401k accounts. BlackRock has a lot of 401k accounts, right? So CoreCivic, CXW, was in a lot of these, probably still are, in a lot of these 401k makeups. Because when you invest in a 401k, nobody knows what they're investing in a 401k. You have probably 401k is like a menu, and they give you 20 different options of how to invest, right? 20 different funds. Now, within one fund, there's 100 different stocks inside of a fund. So if you have 3 different funds, you have 300 different stocks inside of your 401k that you're invested in.
Yeah, you could do research on all of them.
Now, I guarantee you nobody knows any of those companies. Nobody knows any of those companies, right? Because you never ask. It's not just listed as soon as when you find, they just tell you the name of the company. So it'll be Vanguard 2020 Fund, or Vanguard High Interest Bond Fund, or Vanguard Small Cap Value Fund, right?
Yeah.
That's the name of the fund. But inside of the Small Cap Value Fund is about 140 different stocks.
Yeah, and that's when you get that big pamphlet that comes to your house, that probably nobody ever goes through.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of these stocks, and you're like, all right, well, did I make money or not?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody's individually looking into 140 different stocks and then actually researching those stocks to see if they align with their values and moralities. It's just not happening.
No, it's not. But you can't say that you didn't know now, at least, because we told you.
Yeah.
So, if you're interested in it, you can do some further research. But I just wanted to talk about the prison thing because we did speak about that last week.
Yeah, and there's some other things to know about these SRIs. They tend to have a higher fee than regular funds. And so I was like, well, it doesn't even make sense. Why? Well, the mutual fund has the person who's providing the fund actually has to do more research. So there's more work that the person has to do, right? If they're going to do things that match your core values and your moralities, it's they have to find ethical things that will work for you. So there's a little bit more research. So the fees tend to be a little bit higher. And there's a site that you can go if you're into social responsible investing. Socialfunds.com is the website. So you can go research on yourself. So that's one thing that you should do. Obviously, do the research and then know your values. A lot of people don't know their own values. So when they're trying to invest, it's well, I believe in this. Know your own values before you're going to go into this type of fund. All right. So do the research. I just gave you the website. And another thing is, A lot of times, and we've said this
What's
in
the name of the website again?
socialfunds.com. So you can go there on your own leisure and do some research there. But one of the things it brought to my mind is like, we talk about diversifying when we're investing, right? But like this type of fund doesn't allow you to do that, right? Because if you're aligning everything with your values, isn't everything kind of going to be the same if you're investing?
No, you can invest in a variety of different companies that still align with your values.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It could be different industries. Like it's just harder, like you said, because it's like you really got to go through every single fine comb, because it's like, all right, you're investing in a tech company, but is this tech company providing software for weapons of mass destruction?
Right.
So now it's just so much more intensive research that you have to do, which is the fund manager's job. But you can still invest in a variety. Like you can invest in tech, you can invest in, farming, you can invest in financial institutions. Like you can invest in different companies. It's just that those different companies have to be in line with what you feel comfortable with.
I would imagine that these funds are managed by very, very small companies. Feels like a niche thing that like very small companies do.
No, actually, Vanguard has.
Well, right. You're right.
Vanguard.
Okay. That's a big one.